Hey there, it's Pete, GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day, and got something a little different right here for you. I know that for the most part you hear me talking about fescue, okay, but look at this mess. I got a phone call from some folks. This is a community park, okay, and it's really cool because it's a church here that tends this big old garden. That big old garden back there where that building's at. And I think for the most part, they give you food away for free. They tend it, and then they got volunteers that take care of it. You know, folks can come out and pick their own whatever. This is a community soccer field, okay? And you can see by all the little plugs, see all the dark green, all that's fescue. And then you see all that light green, all that's Bermuda. Well, they tried sowing fescue out here several years and no luck. And I told them, I said, well, you got Bermuda out here and you got a soccer field. Why don't let's convert it over to all Bermuda? That just makes more sense because the Bermuda is so much easier to grow. It's cheaper. There's no overseeding involved. Of course, now this is a common Bermuda. Okay, don't get confused. This is common Bermuda, just comes up out of the ground. And now if you want a real high-end Bermuda, obviously you'd have to seed that. But we're gonna use the Bermuda that's here, and we're gonna fill all this in. Now you can see, you get a good visual right there. You see all the lime green, all that's the Bermuda. And of course, I'm gonna give it some color. And all those little dark green spots are fescue. Of course, we're gonna kill that in a little bit. But today is my first day on this project, and so I'm gonna get the Bermuda jumping. Okay, I got about 2 months, month and a half, 2 months, to where I can push this Bermuda and get it to fill in. And by the middle of next summer, I want 100% coverage on it. Now, just looking at it and eyeballing it, I'm gonna say we're about 50-50. 50 fescue or bare dirt and 50% Bermuda. So I think I can get this to about 75 or 80% coverage this year in about a month or so, month and a half. And we'll finish the coverage next summer when the Bermuda wakes back up. So what I'm gonna do now, this is a big blessing because hey, this field is irrigated. I was blown away. You wouldn't think this would be irrigated, but it is on well water. So I got all the water in the world, so I'm gonna have fun right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw the food to it. I mean, I'm gonna hammer it. Now fescue folks, don't get confused. You cannot do this to your fescue. Okay? Don't do this to your fescue. This is Bermuda. Totally different grass. It's going crazy, buck wild right now because it's hot. So you can do this with Bermuda. I'm gonna put this. This is 50,000 square feet, a little over an acre, and I've got 150 pounds of 4600 urea, which is 100% water soluble. And typically people will buy this as a pre urea, and they'll put it in their, or lawn care companies will buy this and put it in their spray tank, melt it down with water, and go spray it on the yard. We don't do that, but some folks do. And that's fine if you do. And my point is, what I'm getting at is that's a real quick pop of nitrogen, real quick pop, and that's what I want this Bermuda. That's what I want this Bermuda to do, is get a quick burst of nitrogen so it take off running. So I'm gonna hit it with that quick release nitrogen, that 4600. I got 150 pounds. I'm gonna put on 50,000 square feet. Now I've also got 1,000 pounds of Milorganite. That's gonna be my slower feed. It's gonna help this Bermuda push over the course of the next month, okay? So I'm giving it 2 kinds of nitrogen, and then I also got, now there's no micronutrients involved in this, so I'm gonna spray some microgreen on it. I also got some aerate. I'm gonna put 2 gallons of aerate on this 50,000 square feet. That's gonna help with the compaction and get that going. And then I've also got, I think I got 4 gallons of humic 12. It's either 2 or 4 gallons. And that's gonna make that fertilizer more efficient and work better. Okay, so we're gonna get on that, and I'll show you a little video and the work, and then we'll come back later and do a follow-up. Now my company is actually taking over this on our warm season program, so that's how I'll get to see this all the time. It ain't really a one and done deal, but we kind of going overboard with this first application. And of course, once I get all that stuff on the ground, the granule, I'm gonna aerate this bad boy and work all that stuff in the ground and really help loosen the ground up, so that, well, I'm gonna put this on a real serious water schedule and really push this Bermuda real hard. A week from now, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna spray the entire property with a herbicide called Tribute Total. Okay, now what that's gonna do is that's basically gonna wipe out everything except the Bermuda. And that's how, and I'm doing it in this order because I want some moisture in the ground, you know, in the next 10 days before I spray. When I'm watering so hard, the ground will have some moisture in it, because those herbicides are rough on turf when the ground's dry. So I want to get some water in the ground, and then it'll have 10 days of feeding time so that Bermuda can get good and strong before I hit it with that herbicide. So first things first, I got to flag my irrigation heads. Now I got a Ventrac aerator over there, and this is a good rule of thumb. Whenever you're plugging or aerating or whatever, and you're breaking ground, you want to flag your irrigation heads, especially if you got a aerator. Okay, especially, you want to do it with any of them, but especially with that, because if that irrigation head is Superman, that Ventrac aerator is kryptonite. Checking these irrigation boxes, you really want to look for black widows, because spiders and all that kind of mess, boy, they like it down in here. I'm gonna manually turn these on, go flag these heads. All right, so you can see here what we're kind of dealing with, and you can see the Bermuda. This is where they tried to plug and seed, and you know, they used a plugger. Of course, the seed only come up in the holes, but look at here. See that runner? See how that runner tacks down right there to the ground? Look at there. Boy, that Bermuda will spread like its mind is bad. Look at there. And you can see I got some good little patches here. And of course, back here in the back, it's a little more dense and a little more thick. Pan around right here, some good coverage around the outside of it. You can see right in here, big thick patches. And also got some big open bare dirt patches. But we're gonna hook that right on up. All right, so I got all my irrigation heads flagged, and that is what 1,000 pounds of Milorganite looks like. Takes a while to spread 1,000 pounds. Now it's time for the fun. I'm gonna take this bad boy right here and bust the ground up real good with it and work that nutrition in the ground. And I'm gonna put my aerate and my microgreen and my humic 12 on it, and I'm gonna water the crap out of it. Now listen, I'm gonna be putting a video up real soon. And you know, if you don't know me by now, I'm an equipment guru. Okay, I love lawn care equipment. Okay, but what I'm getting at is I've got all kinds of different variations of different type of seeding equipment. And I'm gonna be putting a video out here real soon. I'm gonna go in detail over the different options you have for aerating and seeding. We'll talk about that later. Watch this. All right, so here's my urea preels scattered out, the white ones, and then you see all in between there. Man, that's a buttload of Milorganite. Look at it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to take this and I'm gonna make it disappear with that. So, hey Pete, why is it such a big deal to put that fertilizer down in the ground? Well, as a homeowner or whoever, and if you don't have access to something like that, don't feel like you have to do it this way. It works the other way. I'm just at an advantage. I'm fortunate and blessed to be able to do some cool things like this with cool equipment because I do it for a living. And to me, getting that nutrition down in the root zone where it needs to be, also at the time I'm aerating the ground, loosening the soil up for water, oxygen, lots of goodness to infiltrate the dirt and to infiltrate the root zone. So that's why I do it like this. So I don't want you to dare feel like you have to put it in the ground, because man, a DIY homeowner, you ain't gonna have access. You ain't gonna have this thing. I know a lot of homeowners that do own them, but a man with 1,000 square foot yard, you know what I'm saying. You know where I'm going with that. I just want to make your point that this is just an extra luxury that I have to be able to put that nutrition in the dirt where I want it. So there's my aerate, my humic 12, and microgreen. So hey, thank you for watching. I'm gonna go spray this right here, and then I'm gonna set the irrigation. And I'm gonna be very aggressive with this, really aggressive. I want this thing wet and really watered well. I'll bring you back over here in a month and we'll check it out and see how that Bermuda's crawling. Get your soccer field right.